Hello, how to fill out Form 941 for 2024 quarter 3. You can go to irs.gov and just tap Form 941 or 941 and you'll click on search and you scroll down. You download the Form 941, you download the instruction as well, and you save it. Excuse me. That is if you want to complete the form in the PDF format. But if you want to file it online, you can find some authorized or recommended website through irs.gov as well, where you can file online your Form 941. But we are just going to complete the PDF format. So once you download it and save it, you can open a copy and start completing it. So first you enter your business EIN number on the first page. You enter your business legal name the way it is on your EIN application form that you submit to IRS. You might want to keep a copy of that or the SS4 that they sent you back after they approve your EIN application. If you have a trade name, you will enter. In this example, I use Liberman Consulting L.L.C as the legal name and in ASOP as the trade name. Then you enter your business address, the street, the number, the street, the city, the state, the zip code. And I'm just going to base this example on if your business is located in the US. And you will select the quarter you are filing for. Form 941 is a quarterly tax return. Therefore, every single quarter, if you are required to file Form 941, every single quarter you will file one form. You do not file one form for all the quarters combined on that one form. You have to file one form for one quarter. And for this quarter 3, you will select the quarter you are filing for, and this is for quarter 3. And quarter 3 include payroll for July, August, and September, and it is due by October 30th. Okay, so of 2024. Excuse me. So now that you complete that portion, you'll go to Form 941 Part 1. Excuse me. Excuse me. So when you are completing Part 1 of Form 941, every excuse me, every column that is $0, you leave a blank, except line 1, 2, and 12. If those are $0, you actually put 0, 0, and 0, 0. The rest you leave them blank. And let's double check that fact. Yeah, line 1, 2, and 12. So line 1, number of employees who receive wages, tips, and or other compensation for the pay period, including they have that. So for this, you'll enter, because you are filing for a specific quarter, information you'll enter on the form will be for that specific quarter, not for the whole year, but for that specific quarter. And since we are filing for quarter 3, we are going to enter information related to quarter 3. So how many employees did you pay in quarter 3? And we are going to use an example here where 2 people are excuse me, are paid during this quarter in this example. Therefore, you can see July, August, September. And I should have enter date here to make it more easy to recognize. So let's do that. And this one is based on if the people are paid as salaried on a monthly basis. So we'll go back to our form and we'll put 2 people. Wages, tips, and other compensation again is related to quarter 3 that we are filing for. So we'll go back to our form and they're asking for the wages paid. So this is a payroll spreadsheet, and I'm going to go to the summary tab. Probably by quarter might be more helpful, and put the total wages or other compensation paid for that quarter 3, and it's 12,000. And you saw it was like 2,000 a month for 2 people, 3 months. 3 times 4,000 is 12,000. So we are going to go here and we'll put 12,000. And for form 941, it is recommended to add your cents as well, even if it's 0. So therefore we are going to add 0 cents there. So we'll go to line 3. Federal income tax withheld from wages, tips, or other compensation. We'll go back to our form and we will see for quarter 3 total federal income tax withheld and is 711, and we will go back to our form and we will put 711. So when you are paying people, or if your business is an S corp or tax as an S corp, and you are paying yourself, depending on how much you are paying yourself, it might be a good idea to withhold some income tax for your state and for federal, and have a good record of that. And if you don't know how much to withhold from your salary, there is publication 15T withholding, and I can just go to page 1, federal income tax withholding method for 2024, and it has multiple options here for you to choose from, and I'm using wage brackets method tables for manual payroll system. No, it's not this one. I'm using wage bracket method tables for manual payroll system with Form W4 from 2020 or later. And that allow me, though, I can just click on that 12. They have guidance to guide you on how you can complete it, depending on how you pay people or you pay yourself. And in this example, I'm choosing monthly in this example, and therefore if I go back to 22 that I was on, is for monthly period. And since those people are paid, in our example, are paid $2,000 a month, that $2,000 should be the bracket I will pull the tax from, should be at least what the bracket is starting with, but less. What people are paid should be within the bracket. And then you will choose whether the person is going to file jointly or separately or head of household. Again, it depends on what they put on the W4 they gave you, and whether they want you to withhold extra from their income or just the standard. And in our example, one wants to be to pay more on taxes, and one just want to pay the standard. So if we go back down looking for where $2,000 a month is, we found that is between $1,990 and $2,020. 2,000 is within that bracket. And since one wanted to be paid as single, wanted to pay tax as if they were single, but one wants to more to be withheld from her income, while the other just want a regular withholding. So those two, since they are paid the same dollar amount, 2,000, they all fall within that one bracket and 2 columns of tax. So if we take that 79 plus 158 is giving us that amount. So every month that amount was withheld from their return. If we multiply by 3, it'll give us that 711 that we have on our record. But again, the original page that I was before has the detail on that. But that's pretty much how you can estimate how much to withhold from your income or people that are working for you income, so that you can pay that to IRS on their behalf or on your behalf. If no wages or tips or other compensation are subject to Social Security or Medicare tax, you will check that box for. Otherwise, you leave it alone and you go to 5. In this example where we pay people, we will withhold Social Security, wages, and Medicare as well. So they already have the percentage that will be applied to it, and the percentage is for half of it is for the employee, is for you to withhold from the employee's income, and half of it is for your business to pay. So on your spreadsheet or however you are tracking those, you should be able to have a way to know how much to withhold from the personal salary, so that you give them the difference as payment, as wages, while the one you withheld when your deposit schedule, whether is monthly deposit schedule or semi-weekly deposit schedule that you choose at the beginning of the year to make your deposit, you can deposit how much you withheld from their income and how much your business added to it. In this example here, we have the amount withheld from the employee and employer here, and we have employee portion only It's good to track the employee separately from you, because when you are going to file W-2 for those employees with Social Security Administration, you wanted to know how much you will help from those employees or your self income without your business portion in it to be able to put on the W-2. So you can see the portion withheld from those two employees or staff members, and then the portion that the employer paid. So those two combined is what will go on Form 941. But on W-2, Social Security Administration side, W-2 is just going to be the employee portion. But for Form 941, it's going to be the employee and the employer. So we are going to work with the combined version here, and it's 1488. But again, the form has it for us to do the multiplication. So taxable Social Security wages is the total wages that is subject to Social Security. In this example, it's going to just be the same as line 12. So we are going to put that amount, and we'll put the cents. But again, that is this part we can say that Social Security has a limit, that has a threshold to it. And I don't know if I can find that in the instruction, or if I have I believe it's 200,000, but I'm not sure. We need to find the exact. And if your business is young, you may not have it may not matter to you. But if you are paying yourself a higher dollar amount, the business is thriving, you are paying yourself a higher dollar amount, then it might make sense to know the threshold. Past that amount, you do not withhold Social Security or Social Security on that employee, and your business does not pay Social Security past that threshold. So we are going to look for that amount. Okay, so the threshold is 168,600. Is on page 9 of form instruction for Form 941 2024. So if you pay yourself more than 168,600, is the combination for the whole year. When you are paying yourself, you withhold Social Security Social Security tax. Your business pay the equal amount as well, but you track the cumulative of your payroll. Once you reach 168,600, anything you pay yourself or that particular employee that is high earner in your business, you do not withhold Social Security tax on that excuse me, income that is over 168,600, and your business does not pay Social Security tax on the income past 168,600, and it is by employee, not all the employee, but by employee. So we'll go back in this example that we pay 2,000 those employees each a month from January to August. We are nowhere near that 168,600 per employee. Therefore, it does not matter in this example. Total wages paid during quarter 3 is taxable by Social Security. Therefore, we'll put that $12,000 and we'll multiply by both employee and employer tax, Social Security tax, and that will be, oh come on, $12,000 times 0.124, it will be 1488. So we will put 1488 and we will remember to add our cents as well. Taxable Social Security tips. We do not have tips. You have to remember that line 2 include wages and tips. So if you pay tips, then you need to know how much tips is, how much wages is. Wages will be included on line 5A and the tips will be included on line 5B, and the total will match your line 2. But in this example where we do not have tips, we just have wages, we will just put the wages here. So our tips will be 0. So I'm just going to leave it blank, because again, if it's not line 1, 2, or 12 or N12, anything that is $0, I just leave it blank. We go to line 5C, taxable Medicare wages tips. Again, taxable Medicare wages and tips. This is the Medicare tax, and the Medicare tax is combining all the taxable income, wages and tips. Therefore, we are going to put that 12,000 and we'll add our cents. We'll term it by both employee and employer Medicare tax combined to find how much you will withheld from the employee income and how much you will add to it, what the total will be. And this example is 348. Line 5D, taxable income, taxable wages tips subject to additional Medicare and withholding. While Medicare Social Security tax has a threshold of $168,600 where you do not collect it, Medicare tax has a threshold. Past that threshold, you collect additional Medicare tax on it. You, the employer, you do not pay additional Medicare tax. You just withhold that tax from the employee income. And I believe the threshold is $200,000. So if the Medicare tax, if you pay wages past $200,000 to any one employee, again is by employee, to one person in your business, collect $100,000 when you are recording the cumulative of how much you are paying them throughout the month. Once somebody in your business earn $200,000, any additional wages that you pay that person, you will withhold an additional Medicare tax on that excess, and you withhold the regular Medicare tax on that excess as well. And I believe the regular Medicare tax is 1.47 1.45% for that you withhold from the employee income for the regular Medicare tax, and then you, the employer, will pay 1.45% as well. But the additional Medicare tax is just the employee that is paying it, and it is 0.9%. And So if we say that for instance, in quarter three, let's say you are the owner of the business, and in quarter three, by quarter three, or let's say at the end of quarter two, you earn 200,000, and in quarter three, you earn an additional, I don't know, maybe $20,000 in quarter three, income wise. So that means your cumulative income, salary that you pay yourself from January to August, is 220,000. For instance, your business will pay 1.45% on the 200,000. You will withhold 1.45% on that first 200,000, and that $20,000 that you earn in quarter three, you will withhold, and your business, you will pay 1.45% on that 20,000, and you will withhold 1.45% on that 20,000 as well. In addition to that 1.45% that you will withhold on that $20,000 income, you will withhold 0.9% additional Medicare tax on that 20,000 salary as well. And so what you will withhold from that 20,000 for that employee or yourself will be 1.45% and 0.9%. And what your business will pay Medicare tax will be 1.45% only, if that makes sense. The employee does not pay additional Medicare tax, only the employee pay that. So in this example, again, it does not matter to us because no one in the business earned $200,000 in this example. So we leave line 5D blank. But again, if one person in your business or yourself made more than $200,000, you'll need to put that additional, like the amount over $200,000 here. If that is more than one person that earned that amount, you need to total all those income over $200,000 for each one of those people together and put it here and times it by 0.009, which will give you how much you will have withheld from their income as additional Medicare tax. So in our case, we leave it blank. Now line 5E, total social security and Medicare tax. So you total line 5A, B, C, and D colon 2. Those are the taxes, social security and Medicare tax. They want you to total them together and put it on line 5E. If you are using a software, the software I shouldn't be doing that. The software should just total those things together. That's one way you can save time using a software. In this example, we are just going to use our trusty calculator and do those total together, and it's 1836. And again, we'll add our 00 cents. At this point, we can bring our payroll spreadsheet and see if what we have in our record is matching what we are putting on our form. And we are going to go to quarter 3. We have our 1488. We have 348, and we have the total of those two, that is 1836. So I'm going to go a little bit and see social security, employee and employer, Medicare tax, employee and employer, and then the total of both. We have that. So now line 5F, we do not have anything on that, we'll leave it alone. But again, if you have tips, payment in your business, you might want to read the instruction on those, how we should treat those tips. Line 6, total tax before adjustment. So you'll take line 3, line 5E, and line 5F and total them together. So line 3 is the total tax withheld, income tax withheld, and line 5E is the total Medicare tax and Social Security tax. So we are going to take that 1836 plus 711 is going to give us 2547. So on line 6, we'll put 2547 with 00. Okay, so line 7, current quarter adjustment for fraction or cents. We are not going to have any issue with that, but again, if you have rounding issue, that is where that will go. You can read more about it in the instruction. And when a line might be related to your business, but you do not understand it, it's just good to go to the instruction and try to locate that number, that line number on the instruction, and read about it to try to to understand it better. Excuse me. So in this example, we are going to leave a blank. Line 8, current quarter's adjustment for sick pay. Again, we are going to leave a blank because it's not related to this example. Line 9, current quarter adjustment for tips and group life insurance. In this example, we are going to leave a blank. Line 10, total tax after adjustment. And this example of Form 941 is just to explain to you, if your business has a simple model, you can complete it yourself easily and save money than hiring a tax preparer or an accountant to do it for you. But again, if you have some nuances to your business model and you have a lot of employees and you have a lot of things in place in your business, it might just be a good idea to hire a professional to file your forms for you. But again, with this simple model, we are just going to go to line 10, total tax after adjustment. Is combining line 6, 7, 8, 9 together. And in this example where line 7, 8, and 9 is blank for us, our line 10 is just going to be the same as line 6. So line 10, total tax after adjustment, is going to be 2547. And we are going to add our 00 there. Line 11, qualify small business payroll tax credits for increasing research activities. Attached Form 8974. If you are claiming research credits, you might want to read more about it, and you will need to file Form 8974 to report what needs to be reported, and put the credits on line 11 and attach Form 8974. We are not claiming anything, therefore our line 11 is 0. Line 12, total tax after adjustment and non-refundable credits, is going to be line 10 minus line 11, and in this case it's going to be 2547. And again, we will add the 00 here, and that is the time we can bring our spreadsheet to see if our total tax before adjustment is the same thing we calculated, and that it is. So at this point, we are done with that. We will continue. Total deposit for this quarter, and that is quarter 3. So if you made deposit during the quarter, you will add the amount you deposited in this example, and if there is any overpayment from prior quarter, you can include that as well. In this example, we are just going to assume we deposited 25:47 exactly. But again, that is the time that I'm going to explain a little bit the total deposits. At the beginning of the year, it is important to choose a deposit schedule, and you have two. I believe the first Q2 video I might have explained more in it, but you have two deposit schedule, monthly or semi-weekly. So, and the monthly you pay by the 15th of every month. If you have a semi-weekly deposit, there is a schedule that you have to follow, and you pay twice a week. And again, you'll find more in the instructions that are listed. And to decide the deposit schedule that you use during the year, you'll look back 2 years prior to choose, and you'll total 4 quarters together, and those are the 4 quarters you'll total together. And if it's more than $50,000, let's see what I have there, you will choose, if it's more than $50,000, you'll choose semi-weekly deposit, and you'll make deposit twice a week for the year. If it's less than $50,000 or equal to $50,000, then you'll choose monthly deposit. And based on the deposit you chose, you need to respect that and make those deposits on a regular basis. Okay. So now that we refresh our memory on that, and you track your deposit that you have been making and the total deposit that you made during the Q3 or for Q3, you add it. So the balance sheet is going to be the difference between line 12 and line 13. Excuse me. So, assuming your line 13 is what you deposited is more than line 12, you will have a refund. If your line 12, the tax is more than what you deposited, you owe more money that you need to pay. In this example where line 12 and line 13 are the same, our line 14 is going to be 0. So balance due, when they say balance due, that means line 12 minus line 14 will give you a positive number. That means the tax is more than what you deposited, so you have amount due. Line 15 overpayment is when line 13 minus line 12 will give you a positive number. You deposit more money than you owe tax, so you have a refund to claim. It'll go on line 15, and you will check whether you want a refund or you want them to keep it for the next quarter. And if you want them to keep that difference that they could have returned you want them to keep it, then when you are filing Q4, your total deposit including overpayment, you will include it in that amount. Okay, so now that we have line 15 down, we'll go to page 2, and page 2 is just IRS money to see. Depending on how much your line 12 is, IRS money to see if you made your deposit on time. That's why it's important. Depending on the deposit schedule that you chose, you follow through. So lines for part 2, page 2, form 941, make sure you put your business legal name on top. You put your business identification number on top as well. And you go to part 2. line 16. So line 16, line 12 on this return is less than 2,500. If it is less than 2,500, you will check line 12. Or line 12 on this return for the prior quarter was less than 2,500 and you didn't incur $100,000 net state deposit obligation during the current quarter. If line 12 for the prior quarter was less than 2,500 but this line 12 on this return is 100,000 or more, you must provide a record of your federal tax liability. If you are a monthly schedule depositor, complete the deposit schedule below. If you are a semi-weekly schedule depositor, attach Schedule B, Form 941, and go to Part 3. So, if we check our line 12 again, I believe it's 2,547. So it is more than, it is 2,500 and more. So we'll say it is $48 more than what is here, because if it's less than 2,500, so 2,499 will be less. So it is $48 more than this 2,500. Therefore, we will check the second box. You are a monthly schedule depositor for the entire quarter. Enter your tax liability for each month and total liability for the quarter, then go to Part 3. So your tax liability, now how much you deposit about your tax liability. So we'll bring our things back here and they say by month. So we can make it a little bit bigger. We can, let's see if this one is doing it by month. This is doing it by month and we wanted to let's see if we can hide the previous quarter. So that we have the 3 quarters tax liability here. And that is those 3 here, the total tax before adjustment, because we do not have any adjustment. But if you have adjustment, you will need to take that into consideration because they want your total to match line 12, and you'll notice that line 12 is after adjustment. So your tax liability, that total to 2547 or whatever that line 12 is, those 3 months total should match that line 12. So if you claim some adjustment, you'll need to take that into consideration as well. So here is A49, A49, A49. So we are just going to see if our brain want to memorize that, and we will enter those. A49, and then we will see if our number match A49. You can just stamp it by 3, and that's 2547. So 2547, and if we check that with line 12, we have a 2547. If your line 12 is less than 2,500, you'll just check line 12 and you don't need to prove your tax liability by month. But if it's $2,500 or more, then you'll check your monthly deposit schedule and go with that. But if you are a semi-weekly depositor, then you will check the third box. If you are a semi-weekly schedule depositor for any part of this quarter, you will complete Schedule B, Form 941. To show your tax liability, not your deposit, but your tax liability, and Schedule B is pretty much showing your tax liability by day. So again, we have Schedule B here, and it is by quarter. So it's good to save a copy if you are semi-weekly depositor and you make your deposit during by twice a week. It's good to track those deposits and track your tax liability by day. And you will complete Schedule B. And Schedule B, you'll enter your EIN, your business name, the calendar year, and you'll choose the quarter that it is for. And again, that'll be July. That'll be August. And then the third month, that'll be September. And let's see if there is instruction at the bottom. No, there is not. And then the total liability for the quarter, you total them all, you'll put them here. And they say it has to match your 912. So that means if there is an research credit that you are claiming, you'll need to take that into consideration. But again, it is your liability. Now while you are depositing, but your liability by day. And you have 31 days here to work with. And that is Schedule B, Form 941. And again, it will be good to design a spreadsheet that allows you to track those liabilities by days. The one we have here, which is free, you can find it at nenasoap.com, our blog, under free downloads. It tracks it by month, so it's good for monthly deposit schedule, monthly schedule depositor, but not a good one for a semi-weekly schedule depositor. You might have to update it to track everything by day. Although the first one here, you can use it to pull data by day as well, because in some way it's collecting things on a daily basis for you. If you are paying tax on a daily basis, it's something you can complete on a daily basis on the first tab, and you'll be able to pull report on a daily basis from it as well. But since our business is not there yet, I just didn't design it to be suitable for semi-weekly depositor. So now that we explained a little bit about this Schedule B, but it does not pertain to our example here, we are going to go to part 3. Tell us about your business. So if your business has closed or stopped paying wages, you'll check line 17. And then you'll put the final date that you pay wages. Also, you attach a statement to your return. And I explain it on the quarter 2, a little bit more on this one. If you want it to know more about it, you can check it, or you can just go to the instruction and read more about it as well. And you'll be able to read more about it on page 13. and they have an area that if your business is closed, that'll be more at the beginning, page 5, what you should be doing. And I can just give you a few seconds for you to read it, but I'm not going to discuss that in this example. But things that you will do is explained there, and the attachment you will add what needs to be in the attachment. And when you close your business, or if you sell it, the tax return you'll file, the period it will compensate, because if your business closed, you'll file the return for the time it was open, or if you sell it, you'll file the return for the time it was yours, and the other person will file for the time they took over. And then you'll include while the business was open or was yours, who the document will be with, financial document related to that time frame. So, and you'll attach that, but just make sure you add your business name, your EIN on the form, and the form the attachment is for, which is form 941 quarter 3, and the part and the line that the attachment is for. Just make sure you add those specific information to make it clear where the attachment is pointing at. Part 3, line 18. If you are a seasonal employer and you do not have to file a return for every quarter of the year, you will check that box. So if you are qualified as a seasonal employer, you employ people certain quarter and not certain other quarters, then you can check line 18. So that means you are telling IRS that you are not going to file form 941 for every quarter, but the quarter that you will file it for, you make sure you check that box so that they know that they may not expect this form from you for the next quarter if you didn't employ people. Though the form you are filing, you need to check the quarter you are filing for on it. But then on line 18, you can check that box if you are a seasonal employer and certain time of the year you do not employ people, so that they know that they don't need to expect this form from you every quarter. If you do not check this box and there are some quarters that you do not pay wages, if you are required to file form 941, you will need to file it. It's just going to be a $0 form that you will file. Your form will be $0. Most of the line will be blank except line 1, 2, and 12. Line 1 will be the number of employees, which will be 0. Line 2 will be total wages paid, which will be 0. And line 12 will be total tax liability, which will be 0. So those 3 lines, you'll put 0, 0 on them. Anything else will remain blank. Oh, and of course, you'll put your business name, your EIN, your address on page 1, and page 2, your business name and EIN. So if you don't check line 18, and some quarters you do not pay wages, remember to file your form 941. And you can read more about line 18. Let's see here. I want to file. You can read more about line 18 on page 13. If you hire employees seasonally, such as summer or winter only, that's when you check that box. And you can just read it. So other than that, even if it's $0 tax return, you need to file it. So part 4, may we speak with a third party designated? This one I just like to check no. If they want to address an issue with related to the return, they can just reach out to you. But if somebody filed for you on your behalf and you want them to address the issue with them, then you can check that box and put the phone number of the person, the name and the phone number, and the PIN that IRS will use to contact that person. It's just going to be related to this particular return and for this particular quarter. Okay, so in this example, I'm going just to put no, and I'm going to move to part 5. So at this point, you are done, because in this example, we file the return and then we make all the deposits. We don't have any balance due, therefore we do not need to complete the voucher at the bottom of this form. You will review your numbers to make sure they're accurate. You will put your name, and in this example, I like to have my cap open. I'm just going to put my name. And then you put the title you have. The information here is related to who is going to sign. It's not the preparer. The preparer, that is not you, the owner of the business, or who is going to sign, will put the information on preparer, pay preparer use only session if that person is paid. If it's just a staff member of your business and he's not getting paid for being a preparer, then that person's information should not even be anywhere on your form. But you that is going to sign, your name, your title, and your phone number, and I don't know, and just put a phone there. And when you print the return out, you review it, and then you sign your dates, and you make a copy, and that copy you file it in your record for your business. So let's talk about pay preparer use only session. This session is for people that you'll hire to prepare the return for you, and you pay them. So that preparer will put his or her name, their business address, city, state, zip code. And if that preparer is a self-employed, the preparer will check that box. Otherwise, if it is not a self-employed, then that box will remain. The preparer will put a P10, the business EIN, the phone number. So when the form is printed out as a pay preparer, you will print the form out. You will ask the owner of the business or who is going to sign to review, to sign and date. You, the pay preparer, you sign, you date as well. You make a copy for your own record. You make a second copy for the business owner to keep for the business record, and the original you give it to the business owner with that copy, and the original one will be mailed to IRS, and the business owner will keep a copy in the business record. But if you the business owner, you are not paying anyone to file the business return for you, you leave the preparer use only session blank. So let's take a look at the voucher area. Angelique, will you go remind your sibling that they better keep their voice down if they want to keep playing game there? Thank you. On the voucher session here though, if we assume that what you deposited, thank you Angelique, was less than what your tax liability is, and you have a balance due, at this point, if you are a monthly depositor, it might just be a good idea to log into your ETFPS, if I'm really saying it right, and just make your deposits. So if we go back to paid EFTPS, just a good idea you log into it to make a deposit. That's where you make your deposit. And if you have not registered, you register ahead of time, because they change their things. And I don't know how the login process is run now for the EFTPS area, but excuse me, they have information. But you have to make a payment, enroll, and make a payment is different than make a deposit. So I'm not sure in which way they are saying make a payment here, but they have the login.gov and ID me option here that would work. So I would suggest you start this early. Because if you are paying employees, you will need W2 form file as well with Social Security Administration, and Social Security Administration is using login.gov and ID me as well. And with the Social Security Administration, the login.gov, oh no, I don't think it was login.gov that I set up with them, but it took about a month or so for that process to go through. And ID.me is faster, can be done in 1 day or 2. If you have all the data information available to complete it, it is more sophisticated and can be completed in 1 day. Okay, so, but you might just get it done so that, you know, if you are going to file from the W2 with SSA, you are not working against the clock on that. But you will need those information, or you will need those type of login options probably to enroll. But let's get out of here and just make your deposit of that difference, or make that payment. But the voucher give you an option to just pay that difference with the voucher, but it has condition. That's why I'm saying that if there is a difference there after you make monthly deposits on a regular basis, that difference, it might just be a good idea to just log into your EFTPS account and make that payment there. But let's read it. So making payment with Form 941. If your total tax after adjustment and non-refundable credits, line 12, in our case is 2547, for either the current quarter or prior quarter are less than $2,500, you didn't incur $100,000 next day deposit obligation during the current quarter, and you are not paying in full, and you are paying in full with a timely file return, then you can make a payment with Form 941. You saw the condition. Another condition is you are a monthly scheduled depositor, making your payment in accordance with the accuracy of deposit rule. In this case, the amount of your payment may be $2,500 or more. Otherwise, you must make deposit by electronic fund transfer, EFT, through EFTPS. So, and they say you might just make a deposit. So if you're a monthly depositor, you might just go ahead and do that there. Okay. So if you are going to complete voucher because your previous quarter and current quarter, your total liability is less than $2,500, and you have been making your monthly deposit schedule on time, and the difference between line 12 and line 13, the balance due is less than 2,500 or so, and you just want to pay with the form, although they say it can be more in this case, but I just don't like those gray area because it's easy to make a mistake. If the difference, the balance due is less than 2,500 and you have not incurred 2,500 or more of tax liability on line 12 for the quarter 3 or quarter 2, yeah, then you can go with making a payment with form 941. But if you are making a deposit, on already on EFTPS account, you must well make your deposit for that remaining balance. But anyway, if your balance is minimum, your line 12 is way less than 2,500, and for no quarter during the year you have a balance, a liability of 2,500, and you make your monthly deposit on a regular basis, or maybe you didn't even have to, and you want to pay the balance due with your return, you'll complete the voucher. On the check, I would suggest you use a check instead of using a money order. So you will because the check has more space on it than the money order. So on the check, you'll put your business EIN, the form you are filing, form 941, and the quarter you are filing for, and you'll write the check payable to United States Treasury. You enter your EIN, form 941, quarter 3 in this example, and the tax year 2024 quarter 3. They gave you examples there, and then you add it to the envelope, but don't staple to the voucher, don't staple to the form. So if you are completing the voucher, you'll have 3 things in the envelope. Form 941, which is 2 pages. You can staple those 2 together. If you have an attachment to it, you can attach it to that form. But then you'll have a voucher. If you complete the voucher, form 941V, it will be another form in the envelope, not stapled to anything. And then the check that you added to it, you'll include it. That's the 3rd piece. You won't attach it to anything. You won't staple to anything. So you have 3 pieces, 3 different pieces in the envelope. If you complete the voucher, that means you will have to have a check or a money order in the envelope as well. If you are not paying anything by check or money order, you shouldn't have a voucher completed in the envelope. You just complete the form 941 and you do not include the voucher in it. You do not print out the voucher portion of it. But if you have to make a payment and you want to do it with, you want to send it in with the voucher and the form, then on the voucher you add your business identification number, your business legal name, your business address, city, state, zip code, the dollar amount that you owe on line 14, and the quarter you are filing for, and that will be quarter 3. And if we go to check the dollar amount, that is line 14, balance due. If you have a dollar amount there and you want to pay with the form, that amount will go on this area with the cents. But in this case that we do not owe anything, we are not going to complete the voucher. And if we were to print this out, we are going to print page 1 and page 2 out, and that's it, and staple it and put it in an envelope. So now, where do you mail form 941 if you want to mail it? So we are going to go and let me see if I have, don't think I'll have a copy of it there. Let's just take a guess here. You'll find it on page 7 of the instruction for Form 941 2024. So if you are now adding a check to the form, so you will choose the address that say without a payment, and then you go, that will be the second column. The first column is the state, the second column is without a payment, and the third column is with payment. So you locate your state. In this example where we choose Iowa, without a payment, we will put this address: Department of Treasury, Internal Revenue Services, Ogden, Utah, zip code 84201-0005 on the envelope. If you are completing the voucher, you are adding a check to the envelope, then you'll go with the third column with a payment. And you mail your Form 941 via USPS certified mail so that you can have a tracking. They'll give you a green tag, a receipt that you can keep with the receipt, with the copy of the form in your business record. But that is the address. And there is something I didn't explain earlier, is who can sign your form. So as a sole proprietor, it's going to be you. As an LLC tax, as an S corp, it's going to be the president, the vice president, or any principal officer of the business. As an LLC, it's going to be the members in the business that have a good knowledge of how the business is working. They can sign. Any one of them can sign. A single member LLC, treated as a disregarded entity for federal tax purposes, is going to be the owner of the LLC or a principal officer that will sign it. And this concludes how to fill out Form 941 for 2024 quarter 3. If you do not use an accounting software to track your payrolls, on our website ninasoap.com, our blog, under free download, we have the free payroll workbook that you can download, and you can use that to track your payrolls. So that when you are going to file your Form 941, you have your numbers ready, that you will be able to file it easily. And this workbook works if you are a monthly scheduled depositor, but it's now well suited for a semi-weekly scheduled depositor, as it does not pull data on a daily basis, but it pulls data on a monthly basis and on a quarterly basis. Although the entry can be on a daily basis, depending on how often you pay people. And if you are a semi-weekly depositor with some knowledge of Excel spreadsheet, you'll be able to add a tab to pull data on a daily basis as well. As here, you will have all the 365 days entry if you pay people on a daily basis. For instance, it is the daily entry tab. The federal income tax tab is the daily entry tab, but then you can pull summaries out of it to total, because you'll be entering payment by person. You can pull totals by day for every people together, but that's a tab you cannot. But other than that, it is now well suited for semi-weekly scheduled deposits. And again, if you are using our free download workbook, we will make sure we will test it to make sure the no formula is broken and is pulling a report as you expected. You are responsible of filing your return accurately. So make sure the workbook is working accurately for you. You can customize it, tweak it to make it fit your business need. You can use it as a rest, you can use it as an inspiration to design your own. But you have options. If you want to save on your business, if you want to save in your business and use a spreadsheet, you'll be able to do that. If your business does not have a lot of employees, it's just you, and you want to keep expenses low, you can track your payroll with a spreadsheet any way that works for you. But again, if you prefer an accounting, a payroll software, or you're already using one and it's working for you, there is no point of changing it. Thank you so much. And again, this return is due by October 30th. Thank you. Thank you. We thank you very much for watching our videos. We thank you very much for your time. We thank you very much for all your comments. We thank you very much, you all that subscribe to our channel. I'm Afiavi Liberman, cross of Liberman Consulting L.L.C. YouTube channel, and ninasoap.com, our blog. On our channel and on our blog, we share different ways you can save money and different ways you can make money to reach your financial independence where you do not depend on an employer to provide for your family. Thank you. As a disclaimer, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a CPA. Our task tutorials are for educational purpose only, so use it at your own discretion. Thank you.